Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the fourth cup of coffee. Nice to have you here again. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Fourth cup of coffee is about life reflections, lessons, experiences, everything deeply human. Today, I want to have a conversation about lessons that I wish I knew at 20 or somebody had taught me at 20, and they're a bit unconventional because it's not a productivity to-do list, which a lot of things that you see online, that's what they tend to focus on. It's kind of a, sorry, just fixing my camera here. It's kind of a productivity list, how to get ahead. But I'm going to try and teach you or show you how you can really get ahead, because the things that I wish somebody had told me at 20 are not things that I think are always talked about or talked enough about that would have really gotten me ahead. And they're deeply personal and interpersonal things. So I'm just going to go on a bit of a tangent here, as I usually do, because that's sort of the style of my videos, and the nature of it is more just to have a conversation. So the first thing that I think is so important if you're 20 and to start doing is to have a relationship with yourself. I wish I had really understood this when I was 20. I didn't understand it enough. I thought it was affirmations and taking myself out for coffee or for a nice meal or buying myself something, which can be nice things to do for yourself, but it's not really going to get to the root of building that deep relationship with yourself. I think, honestly, building that relationship comes with looking at all your past hurt, trauma, if you have some. If you're human, it's quite impossible that you don't have any trauma whatsoever or hurtful experiences in your life. If you don't, you're incredibly lucky. Sorry, the wind is just insane today. So yeah, it starts with that. It starts by being the adult that your inner child always needed and being that adult for yourself. Liking yourself, like genuinely liking yourself, or holding yourself through all of the shame and hurt that you've experienced in your life, and being okay with it and telling yourself that it's going to be okay, and being that best friend that you always needed in those times when no one was there to comfort you. That, I think, is at the crux of building that relationship with yourself. Talking to yourself in a nice voice, learning to have self-compassion. I think the sooner you start doing that, the more ahead you're going to get. That is going to catapult you in your life in all areas. If you like yourself, if you can advocate for yourself, you're going to stop outsourcing your worth as much. I think that definitely was something that I wasn't even familiar that I did so much of in my 20s, but I think my 20s were such a rough time in my life. I think for many people, because you're still figuring it out. I would never change my life now, as in I would never go back to being 20, even though it gives me an extra like 10 years back or something. I wouldn't do it. No thanks. That was a rough time. No thank you. Okay. But to be honest with you, it's I think if I had started that journey of self-discovery and building that relationship with myself when I was 20, my God, life improves so drastically when you truly, truly like yourself. You're able to advocate better for yourself. You're able to choose better for yourself. You're able to avoid bad situations. You're able to just have a better quality of life and not feel so lost, unseen, misunderstood. Because you have your own back, essentially. And the choices that you make when you have that relationship with yourself are so different to the choices that you make when you don't. And so that would be like my biggest thing, honestly. Advice for when you're 20, start having a relationship with yourself. If you don't know how to do that, there are great resources. I would recommend, honestly, the one thing you should spend your money on in your 20s, I wouldn't even say get more educated, do more things. Well, you can get more educated in a lot of ways, right? But I think one of the things I deeply recommend is start therapy, get a coach, get some kind of a mentor. I wish I had done that when I was 20 because I desperately needed it, but also because we don't know, we don't have this knowledge. It's not general knowledge of how to heal yourself and how to feel better in your life and have better experiences. That's not common knowledge. That's not taught to you. You're taught all sorts of things in school, right? But it's not meant to be advice, by the way. This is my own experience, actually. I don't know why I'm coming across like I'm giving advice. I don't want to, but it does work. I wish when I was 20 that I had invested in myself first. So therapy, because I didn't have those tools. I didn't have that knowledge of how to understand my brain and how to understand my feelings and my emotions. And there's so little taught about emotions, yet it governs like our experience of life. I saw this reel the other day, and it was like your quality of life is dependent on how you feel about things. So if you feel like you're having a good experience, then you're having a great experience and a great life. And if you don't feel like that, then everything looks grey. So it really is determined by how we feel, and that's determined by a lot of things that are going on inside us. And if we don't understand the blueprint to ourselves or of ourselves, then we're just lost and in the dark, and you're going through things and struggles, and it's so much harder when you don't understand, I think. So I'd invest in therapy before doing anything else, honestly, if you can. That's been the biggest changer of my life, my career, my money. More than anything else, it's been therapy. It's been investing in myself in that way to understand myself better and to really believe in myself. So I'd say, honestly, therapy, build a relationship with yourself. The third thing is look at your attachment patterns and the way that I think you relate to things. That for me has been so difficult to do, but also life-changing, because it's completely changed the way I relate to other people and how I connect to other people. Understanding attachment patterns is powerful. It really is. Understanding how we attach, how we relate to others, how we view connection, how we behave in connection. And it answers so many questions about your own behavior. This again, though, a lot of it is rooted in trauma early on in your life. So I would look into that. If I could go back to being 20 again, I would start that journey way sooner. I think it's great I started where I did. Oops, my phone. Sorry, guys, the wind. I'm really proud of myself for starting it. It's never too late. But if I could go back in time, I'd start at 20, because everyone's different. But for me, this took a good few years to actually open everything up, explore myself, and really, really heal everything. There's different stages of that you go through, and sometimes if you go through it too quickly, the ego can really fight back. So you need... Whoops. Okay, I think... Sorry, everyone. I do not edit my videos, so I'm just going to carry on. But the wind just blew my phone off its stand. I tried to film outside today because I thought it would be nice vibes, with the sun shining and everything, but the weather here is a bit extreme. Anyway, so I would start that journey much sooner rather than waiting, because it takes time. It takes time, and if you give yourself that time, you'll just be able to enjoy your life sooner if you don't enjoy it now. And I think 20s is a hard time. At least it was for me. So for me, if I had done that work earlier, I think I could have chosen the life I wanted much sooner, because I would have a clearer understanding of what kind of life I did want, and really start living for myself and in my personal power, because I didn't quite realize how much I just did to prove something to other people. So it just begs the question, if all of my motivation was rooted in conditioning and these negative beliefs I had, and doing everything for others, whether that's status or looking good, looking important, seeming clever, whatever it was, how much of my life was truly my own? or how much of it was I really living authentically. And that's heartbreaking because you think you're doing everything right, but then you wonder as well why life never quite feels fulfilling. And the reason for that, I realized after a very long time, is because none of those things were what I truly wanted, right? Like what my true self wanted. It was, I was doing everything for other people. And um, and when you kind of when you dissect that, or when those beliefs start to come apart, um, you might lose motivation for a bit until you figure out what you actually want to do, what kind of life you actually want. But only from that place can you build something that is true to you. So I'd start that process so much sooner. If that sounds anything like you, I'd start really thinking about how much of what I'm doing is really for me. Um, and yeah, another thing I would do if I could go back to being 20 again is stop outsourcing my worth, which is kind of linked to what I've been saying, to all the other things I've been saying, is like stop outsourcing your worth. So it's linked to building a relationship with yourself, because I think if you need other people to validate who you are, and if you need other people to validate that you're worthy of something and that you're valuable, that is not a sustainable source. That's never going to quite fulfill you. And it's going to lead you in the wrong direction. You're going to be led astray. You're not going to build something. You're not going to build a life that's true for you. Your compass is faulty, it's broken, because you're always going to go in the direction of that validation. And that takes you to all sorts of places that are random, because it's being led by, again, you outsourcing your worth. It's not being led by your internal compass, what's true to you. So I would look into how many ways do I outsource my worth. That's something I'd really, really delve into. And why does that happen? And where was I taught to do that? What needs are going unmet within me? And what ways do I need to build the relationship with myself to fulfill those needs, so that I'm not pulled to do things to get validation from others? I'd deeply, deeply look into that if I was 20 again and I had the knowledge I have now. So yeah, they're all kind of linked, but I would do that because, God, would I become such a happier human being if I did that at 20. Not straight away. Sometimes you're not actually ready to dissect your life in this way, and sometimes it's timing as well. Sometimes you're not ready to wake up to everything, because sometimes you have to face some pretty dark parts of yourself and contend with them and build a relationship with those parts as well. And sometimes that's difficult to do when you're young. For some people, it was for me. I think I still had pretty big ego at that age, so in ways that I didn't realize. So it would have broken my ego a bit too much to face everything so abruptly. I don't know. Maybe, perhaps that's why it's come at the time that it's come. But I would start that journey anyway, even if it's slow. I would start doing that. That's gonna get you so ahead in life. Like, God, if I had started that when I was 20, I would have made completely different decisions. Like, but anyway, everything happens for a reason, so it's all good. And I'm happy with life now, so all good. But yeah, what else? I'm trying to think of what else I would do. In a practical sense, if you're if you're financially trying to get ahead, I can give some practical tips on that. But I think finding out who you are is actually a better place to start than anything you can do practically. But let's say you are in a job, I would not be loyal to any company whatsoever. I mean, I wasn't that loyal to them anyway because they weren't loyal to me. So that's something I did understand very early on. But I would change jobs every couple of years at least. That's the best way to get ahead, and to get promoted or get a better salary. They don't care about you. The structure is literally set up in a lot of companies to keep you like a carrot on a stick kind of thing, just keep you chasing that incremental increase in your salary. It does depend what you do, but generally that's how they do it, and it's, yeah, they're trying to pay you as less as possible so they can make the biggest profits. That's literally their aim. So they're not on your side. Like they're just on your side as long as you interest them or they have use for you, but they will definitely prioritize their own interests first. So you need to do the same. That's something I wish I had realized in my 20s. Also, don't be desperate for one. You can always go into paid employment. Like, it's not that special. Everyone thinks like you should be so grateful to have a job. Like, yes, because of course there's people who would love to have a job and don't have the opportunity, but don't be desperate for one. It's fine. Like, really, you can get another one. They can replace you, you can replace them. Move quickly, try and get as far ahead as possible, as quickly as possible, so you can do it as less as possible. I would also just be careful about taking out loans at university. If I could do it life all over again, I'd make very different choices. I'd be very careful about that, and it's like a lifetime loan, and their interest rates, God, you know, it's not like they're keeping them low or have kept them low. I mean, during COVID, I think student loans rose to like 9%. I mean, anywhere in the world, that is bad debt, right? That is shit debt. That's like credit card loans, you know, like that is terrible. So I would be careful about how much I take from them if I could do it again. It's another thing I would do differently if I was 20 again, for sure. I'd prioritize my health, honestly, because that's going to pay you dividends for years to come. Like, get into a good routine, be sporty, you know, eat good food, drink less. Just drink less. Like, stop caring about fitting in, because most of the people you know now, you probably won't know when you're 30, honestly, because your lives are going to change so drastically. And the more that you grow and change and evolve, you're not going to click with the same people. So you're living a life to prove something to people that you don't even like, or you're not going to have a relationship with in the future. It doesn't make any sense. Don't do anything just to follow the crowd, or just to, sorry, the wind again is insane, or just to fit in. It's okay if you don't fit in anywhere. You don't need to. There's other people who have who share your perspective and would love to be around you. If you're finding it hard to fit in, don't force it. Like, it's okay to be alone. And I'd also, that's another thing I would do if I was 20 again. Just try to be okay with being alone and being in your own company. People are like magnets. They get attracted to you when you align with them, when the right timing comes as well. So you don't need to go chase it. It will come to you, as long as you're not, you know, putting yourself in solitary confinement and you're still allowing yourself to go out and do things and things that you love. Follow things that you love more than just chasing people. Like, follow things you love, and the people will be there, and you'll probably get along more because you'll share the same interests. I'd say that to my 20-year-old self. Don't try and do or like what the crowd likes. Just like what you like. There's enough of us there that you're probably going to have people who have that in common with you. So just go for what you want to do and what you like. And the people that you're probably going to get along with or share those interests, they're just going to be there. And ta-da, you'll find friends. So you don't need to worry about fitting in. That's another advice that's going to get you super ahead if you learn that in your 20s. But again, liking or being okay with being alone is akin to liking being with yourself. So notice that they're all linked. They're all linked. And God, this sun is strong. Maybe I need to move. God, I'm so not professional at doing this. Oh no, that's even worse. Sorry, guys. Anyway, I'll just stay where I am. I was kind of going to wrap up this video anyway, because I don't want it to be super, super long, and my videos, I do tend to ramble a bit, which is fine. It's kind of the style of my content. You can just put it on in the background. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this kind of stuff or want me to share more tips about things like this, then please do let me know. Engage in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation about it. What are some things you wish you knew in your 20s? Or if you're younger than that, what are some things you'd like to know? I'd love to have a conversation and hear from you. So thanks so much for joining me on the fourth cup of coffee again. Nice to see you all 7 of you, I think, which is great. Thanks for following me, and thanks for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.